We hit live. Cool. Cool. Ay, 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 ay. Pardon that. How you doing? How you doing? Me? I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay. Streaming is daunting for someone like me. You know, you don't get much interaction. New, way out of my comfort zone, and it's like, fuck. You know, it's scary. It's scary. But as I like to always believe, anxiety gets in the way when things are getting real. When things are getting like true. Makes sense? They're getting real, right? And they're getting real. And it's your brain going, oh no, I can feel like this is gonna be something. This is gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And your anxiety kicks in. The nervousness kicks in. It's like, oh, I've got a bad feeling about this one. So you don't do it. But I'm gonna try not doing that. I think when I think about streaming, I think about hitting live or doing a short, I'm gonna pause, sit with it, ask why I'm anxious, and then once I've calmed down a bit, be like, okay, we can gently move on to doing the thing. That's what I did. Well, I'm a spiritual nut, so I asked tarot. Uh, because the tarot I believe in is one where I'm trying to think of words. The one where it's your intuition, right? Your intuition is kind of like your radar. It's kind of like your alarm bells. Kind of like, ooh, it's that feeling you get. Just the slight discomfort in your stomach. It's that kind of feeling. And tarot connects to your intuition through. I'm fucking. I do know. I do. I do. I'm just a little. I'm a little anxious. A little stressed. That's what happens whenever I do spur of the moment thing. I get anxious. I get stressed. I need to breathe, recalibrate, calm down. Because here's the thing: when I'm not under pressure, or at least when I am under pressure, I guess a bit of both. When I'm put under pressure by other people, I'm said to be quite charismatic. I'm said to be quite funny, very funny, even, and very confident. I'm like, you met me, but I'm starting to change. I'm starting to change that around because I think that is me. Old me wasn't like that. Old me was very timid. He was shy. He was very quiet. Me now is this me moving my hands around. It's still old me. Me now is kind of like I'm willing to take chances. I'm starting to get braver. You know, I never would have considered doing a streaming thing. Never, ever would have considered it. Never would have thought of it as a stepping stone to something bigger. I would never have considered it. I'd have been like, no, I'd rather just stay in bed. Oh, thank you. Bye bye. But I think what helped me realize it is there's a lot of pain with being human, everyday things. I'm sure a lot of people can relate that being human, being alive for so long, it gets exhausting, and a lot of things get in the way, and a lot of things your body remembers as survival mechanics, coping strategies, all that kind of thing. Like anxiety, your brain's saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 don't hit live." Okay, we're live now. Fuck. Oh, we're gonna fail. We're gonna fail. It's gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're safe. Okay, we're safe. Nobody forced us into this. Nobody put us into the spotlight. I did. I did. It was me. We're safe. We're okay. But how I like to. Now, you may think it's weird. Weird. You may think it's silly. You may think it's. You might agree with it, to be honest. How I like to process my emotions is I use metaphors from like characters and events in stories like comic books and anime and movies to kind of describe how I'm doing, like how I felt during a certain time, and to describe my feelings now and how to evolve them. Evolve them. No, I said it right the first time. Evolve. The way I've imagined it, one particular thing I've done is I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the show Jujutsu Kaisen. And if you haven't, that's both A, valid, and B, there is no B. It's valid. If you haven't heard of it, that's fair enough. I'm not going to judge you. That's fair enough. But I know everything else for but it means it's bullshit. But regardless, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of my favorite animes currently. Uh, one of the only mangas I've one of the few mangas I've read from beginning to end. Um, Ending kind of disappointed me, but all of the thing. Eh. Their approach, or at least Gege's approach to the power source in the Jujutsu world, is called cursed energy. And cursed energy comes from places that have a negative aura around them, like shopping malls, like schools, graveyards, places that people associate bad things happening. Which, you think, why a shopping mall? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised when people got robbed at shopping malls and kids crying and loud. The anxiety pit in shopping malls. But you have these sorcerers who can manipulate their cursed energy to, you know, to bring it out of them, to use it to strengthen their bodies or to use it, power it through a cursed technique. And that cursed technique activates and a physical thing happens or a literal thing happens. Very notable example is Gojo. He uses cursed energy to literally bend space. So yeah, it's it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Now, point I'm making, turning how I actually feel into metaphor, is I used cursed energy as a metaphor for how I'm actually feeling. And with that metaphor, I was able to then flip it and be like, oh, I made it make sense to myself. That's kind of how I do things. I find a hard time grasping the ideas of, self-help books and positivity stuff like, oh, to be a better person, you just gotta be a better person. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is how I explain it. How my own subconscious, my intuition work together to be like, okay, how do we explain this in a way you'll understand? And for me, that was JJK. Not just JJK, for everything. Like, everything is explained through other sources of media. And I think it's very helpful because rather than being like, when people say, oh, you have to turn that anger and the hate and the pain and anxiety into fuel to, you know, push forward, to really emulate, to really jet start your career or whatever, and just bottle it all up. I never knew what that meant. I was like, what are you talking about? How do I use it? I don't get what you're saying. But then my subconscious, my intuition, smacked forces together and was like, okay, think about this. That anxiety, that pain, that anger, that all of it is cursed energy. Now you can use cursed energy to destroy, but if you reverse it and it becomes reverse cursed energy, you can use it to heal. Not only can you heal yourself, you can heal others. And that's how yeah, that's how I explained it to myself. That's how I made it make sense. And now I'm doing that. So I'm streaming because I think I have that innate talent to explain my feelings and what I'm going through. And then kind of with alchemy, transmute it from raw power, raw pain into a metaphor so that you can explain it, so I can explain it easily, you understand it easily, and it makes sense. Now, with that in mind, let's change up a bit. I've been racking my brain about what I want to do with this stream, what stream I want to be, who I want to be. And after a lot, and I mean a lot of self-reflecting, I kind of came to the conclusion that my role in streaming is to just be blunt, to not do it how the rest of you streamers are doing it, and to just kind of go my own way. Don't follow a blueprint and just kind of go your own way. But specifically, because I didn't feel like that was conclusive enough, specifically to kind of shine light for people on using my own experiences to kind of, the alchemy process, experiences, transmuting it into metaphor, and then speaking the metaphor so that people understand and they kind of get a feel for their own issues. They get to look at their own issues in a certain way, in a different way, and it makes them process it better. That's how I feel I could do things. Because I feel like the way I explain things to myself, how I reflect on myself and use metaphors and compare myself to characters, I'm not doing it for an ego boost. I'm literally doing it to explain how I'm actually feeling. So, like, how do I explain it? And then we literally just said, "Oh, I've got a good way of explaining it." How do I explain it? I don't really have a good grasp on the identity I possess. Not really sure who I am. At least I didn't. Now I'm at a crossroad where I'm like, I'm in a crossroad, I'm on a straight path where I'm like, I know who I am. I'm an amalgamation of everything, of everyone. All these characters that I've grown attached to. Like Toji Zenin from JJK, like Gojo from JJK, from like Yuji, like the Doomslayer back there. Like, you know, the Hunter from Bloodborne, like the Tarnished from Elden Ring, like Genu Sung, that's a new one. Batman and Superman. You know, the one thing they all have in common is that I'm grateful of is that inherently they're all good people, but they're also kind of loners. Like they're all dealing with their own grief in a certain way, and my brain latches onto these personalities not as a coping mechanism to be like, oh, this is who I am now. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm sure it was like that before, but now it's like we aren't sure who we are yet, but I've got a feeling it's something like this character, or at least traits from this character fit you very perfect. So that's how my brain kind of calibrates itself to process my feelings, I guess. And yeah, it's tricky. My brain used to be a complete mess, which is fine. I mean, it still is kind of a mess now, which is fine because it's human. I mean, we have such a bad way of looking at mental health, being like, oh, he needs fixing. Give him drugs, he'll fix him up. Uh, maybe talk to the kid. Crazy idea. Maybe actually sit with him and ask him why. Like, ask him really calm and gentle questions about why he might be depressed. Talk to them. Like, get to the truth of the matter and then help them through it. And yeah, I think that's what really helped me is my own form of medicine. Using, rather than, plunging myself into games and stories and comics and movies and TVs, rather than just doing that, I took it apart and I fit myself into them. And then because I was able to see how that character resolved a certain issue, I could then take that into my own life and be like, oh, that's how. And yeah, if I can do that with this stream, I feel like that's a job well done. you know? I mean, I'm still new at this. Could you tell? Like, I've practically no idea where it's gonna go. It's still in the nesting phase, right? I'm still practicing. I'm still learning. I'm still hitting the tarot deck. I'm still learning all this. And regardless if anyone watches or regardless of if this actually becomes something, I still want to do it because it's therapeutic and it's good. You never know. 1 in a million chance that this takes off and this becomes humongous. This becomes like gigantic. And that'd be pretty special, but pretty cool. If I was, like so many of my idols who helped millions, thousands, a few people. If I was like that and I helped a few people, that'd be pretty great. But I don't know. I don't see the whole point in. I mean, okay. I see the point in wanting to be a popular streamer because money, duh. But fame, I see so many people talking about how awful fame is. I'm like, kind of get it. I saw that clip of Justin Bieber at his house, and it was like 50 girls just stood outside his house waiting for him to come out. Like, that must be exhausting. Now, I'm not going to get Justin Bieber famous, but if it takes off, you never know. That's why boundaries are necessary, I think, because you don't cement boundaries, then so much could happen. If you let all your fans be wild cards, then you could get into trouble. People could get hurt, and yeah, a lot of shit could happen. Like, oh, excuse me. I just ate dinner, which is what one thing I never used to do actually. When I started the streaming thing, I never took care of myself. I was always like grind, 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 and I was like, whoa, slow down there, champ. All right, no wonder you're burnt out. You don't take care of yourself. You don't fucking eat. You don't, rest. You're just stressing over nothing. Like, chill, breathe, calm down. Fine, it's fine. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh my god, I was like, I lost train of thought. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Hey. All I'm saying is, if this stream took off and people were grateful, they'd be like, "Oh, dude, Crow's live? Fuck yeah!" That would be sick. That would be amazing. That'd be fuck yes. Especially, I talked about this to somebody. If I got a message saying, "Dude, you don't know me, but a few years ago, I stumbled upon your stream. I was pretty down. I was pretty suicidal, and I saw your stream and I laughed. And I got what you were saying, and I started watching old clips of yours, and your way of thinking and your way of putting emotion into words really helped me out. So thank you. If I got a message like that, I would cry my fucking eyes out. Oh man, I'd cry everywhere. You have to deal with me, man. Like everywhere, dude. It'd be really sweet though. That's kind of. I'm not doing this for like security or for fame or for anything like that, because I know what it's like to be the outcast. I know what it's like to be left out of things. I know what it's like to have two older siblings who are like 8 years older than you and kind of feeling left out growing up. Not like that now, thankfully, but missing out on stuff because of things that got in the way or events that happened that weren't your fault. I know what it's like. So if I can build a community, a sanctuary for the outcasts, be nice. Be nice. Because then I get to talk to people, I get to meet people who get it, who understand me, and like, oh my god, I've been thinking of that. You put it into words. How'd you do it? My brain, bruh. My brain. That's it's the idea, and it's a dream of mine. Um, again, this is baby steps. Like full joke comment. Like I am Genu. Just after he got out the double dungeon, right? I got the system. Still weak as shit though. My power level's 10. I'm still, I'm leveling up. I think I just got into like okay, the way I imagine it is like that I am Genu, right? Not literally. I'm not literally Genu. Calm down. The way I imagine it is like I'm Genu, and I do my daily quests. Like I clean up, or I self-reflect on something in my like trauma or some shit, or I watch something that I've been putting off, or I go for a shower, or I do tarot, or anything like that, as long as it equals to my daily quest. Now, that alone will sure get me out of the penalty zone, which is feeling like I didn't do anything, and that brings on insecurities. So it removes the penalty zone, but it also put your hand down there. It also levels me up a little bit, except not in the way you think. It gives me points to my perks. I get 3 points, and I can boop 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 put them in wherever I want, wherever I need. But the real level up game is in the dungeons. Now, there's no portals outside. I wish. There's no portals outside, right? Can't go in and fight magic beasts with swords. I wish. So my version of a dungeon is streaming. If I can go into a stream, if I can hit live, that's me walking into the gate. And then when I walked into the gate, me fighting monsters is me just talking, battling my own anxiety, battling my own fear, and getting through it. You know, tackling every enemy until I get to the final boss, and then I fight him head on, and I get some rewards. Rewards won't be viewers, and it won't be money. It'll be you were productive today. You did something. Good for you. But the other productive thing will be you leveled up. You got a level up. You got 5 points to all of your 5 skills. Now, literally doesn't include strength, intellect, and agility and all that stuff, right? My 5 strengths are probably persistence, resilience, uh, willpower, confidence, and consistency, I guess. Now, I'm getting 5 levels to each of those. I'm getting 1 level to each of those every time I stream, every time I level up. So that's how I'm kind of viewing this as a way to get me up. And besides, call me childish, but I really don't. Yeah. It helps me, right? It helps me. Because some of our greatest minds of our generation, they read comic books. And they love superheroes. And we don't shame them. They achieve great stuff. We don't shame them. Probably because some of those smart people have the technology and the brain power to build a death ray that could wipe out the sun. So maybe don't piss off the geniuses, okay? But 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 that's kind of it, you know? That's how I process stuff. Whether it works for you or not, that's not up to me. That's not I can't tell you this must work for you, or if it doesn't, I will sell your house. It better work then. I can't do that. I can't do that. So I'm just gonna tell you that what works for me. And yeah, using metaphors, using stories and characters from media as metaphors to explain my own experiences. Not only does it protect me, but it gets my emotions out, gets the truth out, and it gets people to understand how it feels. Yeah, hold on, I'm going to check how long I've been streaming for, because I don't think I want to stream that long anyway. Only 30 minutes. I'm shook. I'm truly, truly shook. Anyway. The big boss battle. The one I'm kind of nervous to talk about. But I've been in this dungeon for 30 minutes. I can't avoid it. My real goal for this stream. I've had a lot of experiences with many kinds of people. One particularly nasty group of people I ran into that we should be wary of and avoid the best we can is narcissists. Now, here's a tip, right? If you're worried that you're a narcissist, you question to yourself if you're narcissistic, and you look back at all the times where you think you were narcissistic, I'll give you some friendly advice. Actually, no, not friendly advice. Hard truth. Narcissists don't think like that. They don't think, am I the asshole? Am I the one in the wrong? Was it me? Like, oh God, what was I the problem? They don't think like that. They just don't care. They kind of don't care. So the very fact that you're thinking that way proves to everybody you're not a narcissist. You should give yourself a bit more slack, a bit more like leeway. Be like, whoa, we're okay, we're fine. Now, using metaphor to describe narcissists, yeah, it's tricky. I can do it. I see a lot that narcissists kind of get represented as wolves in media, in fictional tales, and I think that gives narcissists too much power. No, narcissists also gives the victims a bad luck because victims of narcissists are not weak. They're not little rabbits. They're not scared little, animals running from the nasty wolves. No. Narcissists are sheep. The victims they pick are the wolves themselves. Allow me to explain. The narcissists that many people have encountered, such as maybe myself, maybe not. They always kind of appear as cute, innocent, cuddly. You wouldn't expect them to be the narcissist. You wouldn't expect them to be the evil one. Because they're so little and so adorable and so, oh, you're cute, okay. You might expect them to be it. But looks can be deceiving. The narcissists use that to their advantage. They use the cute and cuddly look to their advantage. The innocent look. So that's how they get you. Why anyone could be a narcissist. It's a trap. The, oh, you won't suspect me. But I'm going to teach you how to spot them. Narcissists are like sheep, though. They're cute, they're cuddly, but in a sheep's head, they don't think about anyone else other than themselves and have they eaten today. They will literally trample other sheep to get through a gate, even if there's enough room in the gate to get out. They don't give a fuck. The sheep are dumb. They don't think. They're just all in it for themselves. Now, Narcissists use that cute, cuddly, kind of dumb, kind of innocent vibe to attract you, to pull you in, get you close. And you're like, oh. It's kind of like when a Venus flytrap releases nectar. It's sweet. And then the fly is like, oh, that smells good. Goes into it, lands in its mouth, and blam, gets eaten by a fucking plant. Regardless, I move swiftly on. The sheep is the same. The narcissist is the same. Puts on this sweet aroma. It's like, you fall victim to it. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the prime target of a narcissist, and this seems to be a running theme with them, they target people who have low self esteem. They're very vulnerable people, not a lot of confidence, though they try to show it and mask, but deep down they're timid, they're scared, and they're kind of, non confrontational. What they can't see that the narcissist smells like fresh donuts cooking on the high street is that this person is sitting on a gold mine of potential. Oh, you better believe it. They have so much potential in them. It is shocking. It's tremendous. This person has the potential to become a fucking king, but they don't know it. They don't see it. They still think they're in poverty. They think they're a squire or something. They don't view themselves highly. They humble themselves without even knowing it. Yet they will have the potential to ascend to such great heights. And the narcissist takes advantage of that. Because to a narcissist, how they kind of go about things is they like, in their mind, they have a deep seated hate for people who are better than them, and they have a deep seated hate for themselves because they think, oh, I'm better than this. I'm better than everyone. I should be better than everyone. That's how they think. That's how they feel. Enough experience, not personal experience, but you can kind of tell. There's a tell. There's a big tell, even. Anyway, narcissists will approach these vulnerable, high potential individuals and lay on the charm, whether it's to befriend them or to entice them into some romantic play. They lay on the charm. This is the phase I like to call love bombing. Love bombing is a very strategic tactical move that the narcissist performs on the unsuspecting victim, where they shower them with love and kindness, and they shower them with gifts, and they shower them with goodness, all affection that that the victim never got, probably ever, because they just think they're nothing. They think they're timid. They think they're weak. No, remember that potential is that narcissist. Narcissist smells it. That's a big. It's a good tell for narcissist. If you have a running chain of narcissistic partners or friends in your life, one, I hope you don't noticed the patterns. Regardless, two, that should be the biggest fucking green flag in the history of flags that you are like a beacon of hope, a beacon of something. You are a fucking star in the sky, and these fuckers are like astrophysicists trying to find you, tracking you down, trying to steal your light. But yeah, if you've had narcissistic partners, that's probably why. Not because they're evil, or because, well, actually, no, they are, but like, okay, maybe they're not. Kind of. Breathe. Got a bit heated then. So calm down. Reflect. You're a victim of narcissistic abuse. It's not because they think you're weak. It's the opposite. Speaking from possibly personal experience, possibly not. Uh, let's say this character, right? Let's call him Handsome Jack. Or something, I don't know. There's a pop bunker of him on my desk. But you know, yeah, no, Handsome Jack, right? He's a good lad. Fine, he's whatever. I know I chose the most narcissistic character in Borderlands, but you know what? Fuck it, he's a victim, he's a hero. Tired of that debate. He's a hero. Y'all really siding with the bandits? And then here comes this other individual who has nothing that Handsome Jack has. But Handsome Jack doesn't realize he has it. So this narcissistic person tries to befriend Handsome Jack, and then because Handsome Jack's got low self-esteem and he's vulnerable, he's like, hell yeah, someone's noticing me, someone wants to give me affection. And then he gives him toys, and he gives him treats, and he buys him games, and he takes him out for dinner, and he invites him to holidays. All little tricks so that it can cover up the real abuse, bullying, undermining, all this shit. It's all to make it go hush hush. Bye bye. How could I be a dick to you? I bought you that fucking box of sweets. I took you on holiday. I'm your best friend. I'm your buddy. I'm your pal. Uh-huh. Sounds like you're buying me there, bro. Now, Handsome Jack, he wonders why would someone do this to him? You know, why would they act like that? Why would they be like that? Like, was I the asshole? Was I the problem? I don't understand. I don't get it. Why? Tell you why. Narcissists don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to date you. They want to be you. That's the thing. They want to be you. See, what they see and what you don't see is that you're a king or a queen on your thrones. With this message, you're the king and queen of wands. Sat on your humble thrones with the fiery passion burning inside you. You don't even know it's there. You didn't realize you're even sat on a throne, but you are. The narcissist, though, oh, they see that. They see the throne, they see the fire, they see the passion, and they hate that. They want that. They crave that. So, they do all this shit. Be your friend, love bomb you, get into your life, and then when you're cemented into their lives, they pull the rug and make you feel like a fool, make you feel like an idiot, make you feel like you're nothing, you're worthless. They emotionally detach from you. They make you beg and crawl back to them. They make you cry. Oh, but it's fine though, because it's your fault, right? It's your fault. It's what you did. This is all you're doing. I was just trying to be a good friend to you. I was just trying to be nice to you. And this is how you pay me? That, fellow crows, is exactly what they try and say to you to make you second guess yourself. But here's a tip. I know, follow them. See this stomach here? If they're talking to you and this is screaming at you, listen to it. Trust yourself before you trust them. Because, speaking from a lot of experience, my intuition has been spot on damn near every time. Nearly damn near every time. when it comes to serious matters like this. So, listen to it. It's important. Now, we were talking about a metaphor about sheep and wolves, weren't we? Yes. So, the narcissistic sheep, he'll shake his little white ass and he'll be like, come on then. And then the wolves are these individuals who have been beaten, downtrodden, they've been abused in secret and made to believe that it was them causing the pain, them causing the issues in the dynamic. And it isn't true, it's the narcissist. And see, they become emotionally avoidant and they stop giving you the affection, they stop love bombing, they start distancing themselves, going off in secret, doing things without you. See, it's all a bid for control because if they make this attractive individual submit and beg to them, then that's this one. They've proven to themselves, I can have whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. Because I got this super attractive person to submit to me, to bleed for me. And it's not fucking fair. So, what happens from there on? Well, inevitably, like most things, the wolf snaps. It's been starved of physical intimacy or affection or anything. And it reacts because its needs aren't being met. What happens when that happens? The wolf bites. Not out of malice, out of starvation, survival. It bites, it attacks. Sheep goes running and bleating away for the farmer to come out. Now, the farmer could be your friend, friends you've trusted for years, or their friends that you're becoming friends with. And they react and they don't think. See, what they see is an innocent little sheep running away and a wild wolf growling and slobbering all over the place, fucking raging eyes, attacking, lunging at this little fucking sheep. They don't stop and question, why is the wolf doing that? They don't think about that. They react. And how do they react? By screaming at the wolf. Or in more serious cases, shooting the wolf. Horrible. Because if people in these kind of dynamics would just stop and think for a second, hey, this person was like that before they met you. Now they are. Why are they so fucking angry? Why are they attacking? Why are they being vicious? Because that does happen in these kind of narcissistic dynamics. The person, the victim, who gets abused and bullied and kind of made to look like the source of all the narcissist's anguish, when they inevitably collapse and break under the pressure, they do explode. They do outburst. We do have outbursts and they rage because they're like, give me fucking love, dude. I'm dying here. I've gave you everything and you're giving me nothing in return. I'm a narcissist. It's exactly what they fucking wanted. And they go knocking on their friends' doors. See? This is exactly what he's like. This is exactly what this friend is like. What your friend is like. Unhinged monster who just wants to take advantage of me. Now, if you've got good friends, they might take your side. Of course, they'll react, sure, but once things have calmed down, they'll approach you, hopefully, and question what was going on. If they're good friends. If they're bad friends, they'll take the narcissist's side and exile you from whatever social group you're in. And that's the worst pain of all, because you did nothing wrong. You were beaten and abused and used for the narcissist's sick game. And then when you lashed out of anger because you were discarded, you were broken up with because the narcissist stopped having fun and was like, whatever, cutting ties, blah blah blah, whatever, I'm done. And you get upset and you're craving, you're hungry, you're starving, and you want to, you're dying for thirst, you're dying for food, so you attack. Tragedy is they use that against you. They point at you and say, look, this is the kind of person I was with, that's why I broke up with him, because he's a fucking monster, he's a dog, shoot him. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. However, I got some tricks. I got some tips for you. If you unfortunately encounter a narcissist and you are in the late stages, preferably in the stages where they're distancing themselves from you after the love bombing phase, you get revenge. And listen to this carefully. You get revenge by not getting revenge. You ignore them. Oh, because narcissists, oh, the one thing they hate, the one thing they despise is being ignored. They loathe it. They want the highs and the lows. They want both of them. But meeting in the middle and giving them nothing. No reaction, no nothing. Completely taking the power away from them. That shows them. That makes them show their true colors. Makes them show their true. Shows their hand. Makes them fucking mad. Angry. Now, they may try and react a certain way. They may try and do things or say things to get a reaction out of you. Best thing you can do, and this is true, don't react. Don't do anything. Just walk away. If your friends believe it, get new friends. You're better off anyway. But if some friends come back and like, yeah, that person was a fucking psycho. Good job for not reacting, by the way. There you go. Got a buddy for life. Just walk away. Seriously. If they start pulling back their energy because they want you to chase them, walk away. Walk away. Don't give them the satisfaction of chasing them, because that's what they want. They're little sheep that want the fun, the little thrill. But don't give it them. Don't give them. That's how you beat a narcissist. By focusing all that energy that you were going to give to them and chase them with, pulling it back, give it to you. They hate that. Because they see that potential in you. They see that power within you. And they want it. They want to be you. So, if they can't have it, then why do you get to have it? So they'll wriggle their way into your life and try and dismantle it. And unfortunately, they're very good at doing that, so it works surprisingly well. But hopefully, if this reaches anyone, you'll learn that it's not the end of the world if you encounter a narcissist. There's always hope. I'll get into it more next time. The voice went dark there. I'll get into it more next time. But I've had fun. I got to talk about some stuff. I talked for an hour. Christ. I beat the boss in the double dungeon. That was me holding a knife. Could you tell? Anyway. It's been good. It's been grand. It's been fantastic. I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. This is level 2. Tomorrow will be level 3, or whenever I can be bothered to stream again. Doesn't matter. It's not. It's irrelevant, you know. But yeah, this was fun. Thank you. Bye now.